Entering the ring now is our Class 1 Senior Showmanship for dairy goats. We have Nora Allschwede of Pickerel and Lena Allschwede of Pickerel. This is first call for Class 2 Intermediate Showmanship for dairy goats. Again, that is first call for Class 2 Intermediate Showmanship.
To start off the Dairy Goat Show here today, this morning, what a great pair of senior showmen. It was very, I'm going to say competitive because we only have two of them, but I will say, you know, this is very similar to judging dairy cattle, but also in the showmanship division, you're obviously showing a goat versus a dairy cow, and I go back to my round robin days at Washington County and competing with that, and the way that goat showmanship, you know, I don't know a lot, but I do know it is based off of the same similar parameters. But I'm going to go ahead with this this young lady's black goat here. She just seemed to walk with a more of a presence of control, especially when after I pulled him out of the second line. She just seemed to lead better, and especially when I come to set up, the way that she would square up the front legs first and only have to set that one rear. She just set up a little bit quicker, taking nothing away from my individual here in second place. She was just able to square up the front feet first and only set the back in that one set, and was just a little bit snappier on that. Two very good individuals for senior showmen here this morning, starting off for the Dairy Goat Show. Give them a round of applause.
Receiving Grand Champion Senior Showman was Nora Allschweid of Pickerel. Receiving Reserve Grand Champion Senior Showman was Lena Allschweid of Pickerel. Entering the ring now is our Class 2 of Intermediate Showmanship. We have Callie Sloop-Lang of Beatrice, Hunter Keedy of Holmesville, Grayson Byrne of Roca, and Corrine Byrne of Roca. This is first call for Class 3 Junior Showmanship. Again, that is first call for Class 3 Junior Showmanship. All participants receiving a purple ribbon will be returning back for our Grand Champion or Overall Champion Showman. I'd like to thank our Dairy Goat Show sponsors of Tom and Becky Schuerman, Travelar Holsteins, Ron and Angie March, Plymouth Vet Clinic, Twin Rivers Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, and Security First Bank.
4 intermediate individuals here for dairy goat showmanship. Going to start off with a young man here with his dairy goat. Just overall, his eye appeal and true presence to me always in the ring, especially when I had him on the outer perimeter and also when I had him lined up. He would properly change the side of each time I would go around each quarter of the animal. Taking nothing away from the young lady in second here, I did switch my second and third here after the last pass outside of the ring, just because getting the animal to lead, with having to use the assistance of a foot to get it going, but taking nothing away from third place over second, overall control of the goat, and having the correct lead and everything of setting up correctly. And then with my fourth place individual, overall she handled her animal, but it didn't quite have to what I believed the correct halter lead on it, so she had an advantage technically over the others, but it still handled correctly. But for the showmanship side of things, I felt that having with the correct leads is the way that I placed them here today. So a very good individuals for intermediate showmanship.
Receiving Grand Champion Intermediate Showman was Hunter Keedy of Holmesville, and receiving Reserve Grand Champion Intermediate Showman was Callie Sloop-Lang of Beatrice. Entering the ring now is our Class 3 of Junior Showmanship. We have Mila Velasquez of Hickman and Avery Keedy of Holmesville. This is also last call for goat and sheep ultrasound check in the hog barn. Again, that is last call for goat and sheep ultrasound in the hog barn.
For junior showmanship here for the dairy goats, I'm going to start off with this young lady here in the white shirt, if you lead forward with your goat. Just overall, her attentiveness to me as soon as she walked in the ring. She was always making eye contact. She had control over that goat. She was walking it without stopping, and when it come to setting up, she squared up the front feet correctly and then set the rears. Taking nothing away from the young lady here in second, just didn't quite have enough responsiveness for setting her goat up, but take nothing away from these two as they will develop into excellent dairy goat showmen here in the future. Give them both a round of applause.
Receiving Grand Champion Junior Showman was Avery Keedy of Holmesville, and receiving Reserve Grand Champion Junior Showman was Mila Velasquez of Hickman. Coming in the ring next is our overall champion showman. From Class 1, our senior showman, we have Nora Allschwede and Lena Allschwede of Pickerel. From Class 2, our intermediate showman, we have Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Callie Sloop-Lang of Beatrice. And from our Class 3 junior showmanship, we have Mila Velasquez of Hickman and Avery Keedy of Holmesville. Following our overall showmanship, we are going to have a quick class of Pee Wee showmen. So if you're going to be shown out of Pee Wee, go meet out at the front gate to the pin, please.
Well, 5 very nice individuals out here representing the dairy goat showmanship for each respective age group. Once again, like I talked in the Holstein heifer and cow show, showmanship is overall how you can best present your animal. That is what it is, how show the control over it, set it up correctly, be attentive, and know truly the dynamics of how to make your animal represent itself to the best of its possibility. And that's where I'm going to start off with this young lady here in first and work my way down first, second, third, and fourth. My reason being is just overall, from the first time walking in the ring, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but overall attentiveness, keeping your eye on the judge. And it goes all the way down through my placings here as each representative. But the other thing too of being able to timely set up, each goat, being able to get those front feet to set naturally square and then only having to reach back to set the rears to get them as square as possible to represent your animal to the best of its knowledge. So today for my overall goat showmanship across all age divisions, first, second, third, fourth. Thank you.
Receiving our overall champion showman is Nora Allschwede of Pickerel. Our overall reserve champion showman is Elena Allschwede of Pickerel. Our fourth overall showman was Hunter Keedy of Holmesville, and our fourth overall showman was Avery Keedy of Holmesville. And thank you to Security First Bank for sponsoring our awards for our overall showmanship. In the ring now is Class 1, or Alpine Junior Doling. We have Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Avery Keedy of Holmesville. This is first call for Class 2 Alpine Milkers. Again, that is first call for Class 2 Alpine Milkers.
Two very nice individuals to start out our junior doling show here. I'm going to start off with a young man's doling. Just the overall mammary system presence, for being a young yearling goat. Just overall the utter promise that I see on that, especially combined with the clean head and neck. Just walks with a little bit more of a frame to it compared to my second place. Taking nothing away from him, I would like to change the rear leg structure on this one, just especially with him being a yearling in milk. Just would like to straighten that up a bit, in my opinion. But two very nice yearlings here to start off the goat placing class here. Give them a round of applause.
Purple?
Purple.
Did you announce it yet?
So you come in and put it down.
Receiving purples in Class 1 was Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Avery Keedy of Holmesville.
Right onto the arena.
Entering the ring now is Class 2, our Alpine Milkers. We have Avery Keedy of Holmesville.
She just rode off, so I don't know. Hunter must be showing it.
Well, a very nice single entry for the Alpine 3 to 4 year old milkers class. Love the overall mammary system on this goat, the overall fullness and overall equal having of that mammary system combined with that big front end, especially giving it a nice uphill run. It's amazing how similar these technicalities are, in goats, dairy goats compared to dairy cattle. So there are a lot of similarities, different terms. Don't crucify me if I'm using the wrong terms, but this is how I see fit for describing this single entry 3 to 4 year old Alpine. Give them a round of applause.
Receiving purple in Class 2 is Avery Keedy.
Yep, champion Alpine. Uh-oh.
In the ring now is our champion Alpine drive. We have, from Class 1, we have Hunter Keedy from Holmesville and Avery Keedy from Holmesville. And from Class 2, we have Avery Keedy from Holmesville. This is first call for Class 3 Nubian Junior Doe Kid. Again, that is first call for Class 3 Nubian Junior Doe Kid.
Well, three very nice Alpines out here for the Alpine show here today. I'm going to start off with this 3 to 4 year old Alpine as my first place. Mainly just the overall size and scale of the memory system, overall capacity for milk yield. Taking nothing away from my second place individual, this young man here, showing a lot of potential with this yearling, but just not enough to compete for an overall Alpine against the 3 or 4 year old Division 1. So first, second for my overall Alpine. Give them all a round of applause.
Receiving champion Alpine was Avery Keedy. That award is sponsored by Ron and Angie March. And then receiving reserve champion Alpine was Hunter Keedy. That award is sponsored by the Gage County 4-H Council. We are now going to go through Class 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we will be selecting your champion AOB. Entering the ring now is Class 3 Nubian Junior Doe Kid. That is Elena Allschweden of Pickerel. This is first call for Class 4 Nubian Dry Doe. Again, that is first call for Class 4 Nubian Dry Doe.
Well, a very nice single entry goat here for this young lady, showing a lot of true potential as this one goes down the road and develops into a nice yielding milking goat here. Give her a round of applause for a single entry.
Receiving purple in Class 3 is Lena Allschweden. You're good, purple. Yep. At least that's what they gave her. Entering the ring now is Class 4 Nubian Dry Doe. This is Corrine Byrne of Roca. This is first call for Class 5 Toggenburg Milkers. Again, that is first call for Class 5 Toggenburg Milkers.
Well, a very nice Nubian entry for a dry class here. You know, showing good potential once the kids in here to milk very exponentially, and just a very nice single entry for the Nubian class here.
Receiving purple in Class 4 was Corrine Byrne. Entering the ring now is Class 5 Toggenburg Milkers. This is Callie Sloop Lang of Beatrice. This is first call for Class 6 AOB Milkers. Again, that is first call for Class 6 AOB Milkers. Following Class 6, we'll be selecting our Grand Champion AOB.
Well, a nice single entry for a 4-year-old dairy goat for this young lady. Just kind of like the Alpines earlier. You know, I just love to see the overall size and scale, you know, the rib structure of this dairy goat. You know, combine that with the youthful mammary system, and this goat is going to yield very nicely for this young lady here going forward. Give her a round of applause.
Receiving purple in Class 5 is Callie Sloop Lang. Entering the ring next will be our Class 6 AOB Milkers, which is Avery Keedy of Holmesville. Following this Class 6, we will be selecting your overall AOB. This is first call for Class 7 Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid. Again, that is first call for Class 7 Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid.
Another excellent single entry, you know, for this young lady here with this AOB. Just really like to appreciate the overall capacity of this dairy goat. You know, maybe to a certain extent too much, you know, being too widespread on the rear feet and legs. But, you know, overall, if you want an overall yield and milk yielding goat, this is the goat for you. So give her a round of applause.
Receiving purple in Class 6 was Avery Keedy of Holmesville. Coming back into the ring is our overall champion AOB. From Class 1, we have Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Avery Keedy of Holmesville. In Class 2, we have Avery Keedy. In Class 3, we have Lena Allsweet of Pickerel. Class 3, we have Lane Allsweet of Pickerel. Class 4, we have Corrine Byrne of Roca. Class 5, we have Callie Sloop Lang of Beatrice. And then coming back from Class 6 is Avery Keedy of Holmesville. This is second call for Class 7, Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid. Our judge for our Dairy Goat show today is Trevor Cliff. Trevor comes from Hanover, Kansas, just south of the state line. His family milks 80 head along with a diversified farm operation. He's been involved actively on Washington County Fair Board the last 8 years, so he appreciates all it takes to put on a county fair. He's been involved in showing dairy cattle since he was 6 years old, showing as a clover bud. He's exhibited at numerous shows from the county to the national levels. He looks forward to working with the youth of Gage County today.
To select my reserve and champion AOB dairy goat for the AOB division, I'm going to start off with the goat here on my left, just with the overall size and scale, the youthfulness of the mammary system, just the way that she handles herself. Taking nothing away from my reserve here in second, maybe just a little too much overcapacity in my opinion, just coming from the dairy cow world, but overall, you know, two very nice goats to represent the AOB breed. Give them all a round of applause.
Receiving champion AOB was Callie Sloop Lang of Beatrice, and receiving reserve champion AOB was Avery Keedy of Holmesville. Entering the ring now is Class 7 Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid. This is Mila Velasquez of Hickman. This is first call for Class 8 Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid. Again, that is first call for Class 8 Recorded Grade Junior Doe Kid.
Very nice young single grade entry here for a dairy goat division. Just love the overall promise that this one is going to show for this young lady going forward. She does have a lot of years ahead of her for coming back in the ring here and being a very competitive up against some others in her class and breed range. So go ahead and give her a round of applause for an excellent single entry.
Receiving purple in Class 7 was Mila Velasquez of Hickman. Coming into the ring now is Class 8, our recorded grade junior doe kid. It is Nora Allsweet of Pickerel. This is first call for Class 9 and Class 10. Again, that is first call for Class 9 and Class 10.
Well, a single entry that we got in here, she's telling us she doesn't want to be in the ring. She wants to get back with the rest of them, but a very nice single entry for this young lady, and we'll let her get back to the rest of the group there. So congratulations.
Receiving purple in Class 8 was Nora Allsweet of Pickerel. All purples will come back for champion recorded grade.
Yeah.
Stepping into the ring now is our Class 9 recorded grade milkers. This is Nora Allsweet of Pickerel and Lena Allsweet of Pickerel. This is our second call for Class 10 recorded grade dry doe. That is our second call for Class 10 recorded grade dry doe.
Two very nice dairy goats here for the non-recorded class. I'm going to go with the black goat here on my left, just for the overall more youthfulness in the mammary system, overall correctness and the nice seam, compared to the second place one. Taking nothing away, but just for the overall capacity and quality of the mammary system, that's how I'm going to place them here today. Give these two individuals a round of applause.
Receiving purples in Class 9 was Nora Allsweet of Pickerel and Lena Allsweet of Pickerel. Entering the ring now is Class 10 recorded grade dry doe. In Class 10, we have Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Grayson Byrne of Roca. Following Class 10, we will be selecting our champion recorded grade and reserve champion recorded grade. All exhibitors receiving purples from the previous classes will be exhibiting.
Yep. So for the recorded dry doe class here, just 2 entries. I'm going to start off with this young man's goat here, just for the overall size and scale and overall production showiness of it. You know, compared to nothing with the young lady here in second, maybe just a little more condition-wise, maybe closer to kidding for what it is. But I'm going to go with the young man in first, followed by a young lady here in second with purple ribbons. Give them both a round of applause.
Receiving purples in Class 10 was Hunter Keedy of Holmesville and Grayson Byrne of Roca. Now stepping into the ring is our, going to be looking for our champion recorded grade and reserve champion recorded grade. From Class 7, we have Mila Velasquez of Hickman. From Class 8, we have Nora Allschweid of Pickerel. From Class 9, we have Nora Allschweid of Pickerel and Lena Allschweid of Pickerel. And from Class 10, we have Hunter Keedy from Holmesville and Grayson Byrne of Roca. I'd like to take this time again and thank our Dairy Goat Show sponsors, Security First Bank, Tom and Becky Shearman, Travel Our Holsteins, Ron and Angie March, Plymouth Vet Clinic, and Twin Rivers Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
We'll give all these exhibitors for the Dairy Goat Show a round of applause. So to select my first and second place overall dairy goat for the milking, I'm going to go with the young lady here on my left. Just overall youthfulness of that mammary system, the overall rib structure, and the way that it's all put together with a nice uphill run. She just represents the way that I feel that a dairy goat should be represented. Taking nothing away from my reserve, maybe just a little too over capacity. Maybe she's towards the end of her lactation, I should say. But just two very good goats to represent the dairy goat breed here today for the Dairy Goat Show. Give them a round of applause.
Yep, we're right. Your champion recorded grade was Nora Allschwede, and your reserve champion recorded grade was Lena Allschwede from Pickerel. Coming into the ring now is Class 11, Mother-Daughter Dam. We have Nora Allschwede of Pickerel. Following Class 11 will be selecting our Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion dairy goats.
So for the Daughter Dam class here, just a single entry, but it really goes to show, what a production dairy goat is supposed to look like. Being able to produce an offspring that's going to be very subject to similarities of what our dam shows, but then also to be able to show that production longevity and also to show the overall mammary system on what this single entry presents. So a very nice single entry for the Daughter Dam class here, and look forward to selecting my overall dairy goat here in the next round.
Receiving purple for Class 11 Daughter Dam was Nora Allschwede of Pickerel. In the ring now is for our grand champion and reserve grand champion dairy goat. From our Alpines, we have Avery Keaty and Hunter Keaty. From our AOBs, we have Callie Sloop Lang and Avery Keaty. And from our recorded grade, we have Nora Allschwede and Lena Allschwede. And again, a big thanks to our Dairy Goat Show sponsors, Security First Bank, Tom and Benke Schuerman, Travelar Holsteins, Ron and Angie March, Plymouth Vet Clinic, Twin Rivers Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram.
Give a round of applause to all of these dairy goat exhibitors here today in the ring. You know, like I said, I'm more of a dairy cattle judge, but there's a lot of similarities, you know, in placing dairy goats. And for my opinion, what came out today is this Alpine really struck me, you know, for overall mammary system quality, overall capacity, combining that also with the nice uphill run of the frame and the structure, taking nothing away from my second place here and my non-recorded, just overall capacity and size is what I was going off today for placing these dairy goats. But I'm going to go with the non-recorded as a reserve overall dairy goat. So give all of these dairy goat exhibitors a round of applause, and thank you all for coming out to the Gage County Fair.
Winning grand champion dairy goat was Avery Keaty's Alpine, and the reserve grand champion dairy goat was Nora Allschwede with the recorded grade.